Hello from grey Moscow, I think you could say today. Grey and cold Moscow. We've recently just had like a random snowstorm and windstorm actually. But anyway, that's not the point of the video. This video today is about me talking about my second food poisoning in Russia in 9 months. I'm not feeling the best at the time I'm recording this video now. I still have some pain in my area there. Digestion pain, I guess you could say. I'm just going to take a seat here on this lovely bench in front of a nice brown water. But yeah, it's nice and peaceful and quiet here, and you have the lovely church there in the distance. But I'll just take a seat here. I just want to talk about sort of two things: Russian food hygiene and also Russian healthcare. And I'm going to start with the food hygiene, and I'm interested because how did I get food poisoning again for the second time in 9 months? Well, the first time I got food poisoning, I ate, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a sosiska, and it was in the immigration center from one of the like mini cafes that they have there. I was really hungry. I spent hours at this immigration center waiting to, speak to a government official to finalize documents and find out the next steps. I was like, fine, I'm going to buy this sausage from this cafe, and basically it turned out to be a dodgy sausage because I ate that sausage, and then once I got home, within a couple of hours I was just really bad. So yeah, and I wasn't insured, so I had to pay for the service, like to go to the doctors and so on. I think in total it cost me like £100. However, I was seen like the next day. We called up, Kat helped me, Kat called up, do you have an appointment? We need help, basically, we don't know what's going on. And I was seen within the next day. I was fine. I got documents, which I'm going to show you once I get home. But yeah, I was impressed, but unlucky. This happened again. How did I get food poisoning again for the second time? Well, I ate Bonduelle baked beans. That was the culprit this time. Bonduelle baked beans. I've ate so many canned beans in England, never had any issues. Like canned and tin food in England, I feel like is like, obviously tin food isn't, the greatest thing in the world, but it never presented any issues with for me in England, especially beans. And I thought, okay, sort of the same sort of thing is going to happen in Russia, right? It's going to be fine. But that's obviously not the case. I ate these beans, and within I ate dinner, went to bed, and I just woke up sweating. I felt unwell. I immediately needed the toilet, and we knew something was wrong pretty much off the go. This time though, I was insured, so that was great. The only thing I had to pay for was the medication. But my question is, for the Russian, I got a lot of Russian audience. Can you tell me, is it true that canned and tinned things in Russia aren't obviously they're not the best in general anyway, but are they really that bad? Because the doctor that I saw said stay away as much as you can, basically, from eating those kinds of foods. So yeah, I just wanted someone else's perspective. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, I just want to know, is the food that big of a problem? I personally think I'm unlucky. I did initially eat Krasnaya Sena baked beans, and everyone told me do not eat them. So I didn't eat them, and instead I opted for a really expensive baked bean brand that costs 190 rubles, and they were the beans that gave me the problems. Quite interesting. Nice little area down here with some ducks. It's just interesting to talk about because in England I feel like we have really really strict rules on food hygiene. For example, in England there's I think most restaurants or cafes need to have their specific food hygiene put on the shop window, and it's against the law, I believe, if you don't do that or get checked. So look at this massive Soviet block up here. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a guy up there cleaning the windows. Can you see that guy? But anyway, I ate these baked beans and it got to the point where Cat called an ambulance because I was really bad. And the ambulance arrived very quickly, and basically the doctor asked some questions and so on. And I ended up getting an injection into my butt cheek. And I felt really good after that. Within a couple of hours, I felt much better. And yeah, again, as much as I did get food poisoning, if I got food poisoning again in Russia, I wouldn't feel worried because the healthcare here is so good. Like, it's so good. It's quick and it's efficient. And yeah, I was just really happy with that. And eventually, once I felt a little bit better, I booked an appointment with the doctor, which was also covered with my insurance. And I'm currently on diet number 4. I'm just about to come off it, but it's a special Soviet diet that doctors put you on to sort of restabilize the gut. And I was told that I have like a bad gut. I have a weak gut, so I'm more prone to have issues, basically. Not only that, but I was given documents after, like explaining things, which is so strange because you don't get that in the UK. Sort of just seen and told to go away. But yeah, I have many documents now from the Russian healthcare system that I can actually look through and understand and look back on, because you forget things, but that's such good good care, right? It's good to know. Look at this tree that has fell down in the park. Humongous. Yeah, it's just good to know, because in England you just don't get any documents like that. In fact, in England you actually have to ask for your documents. And I remember my mum and I asked for our patient report, which is basically just your medical documents, and they were questioning us, like, why do you need them? Like, being not dismissive, but like apprehensive enough to give us the actual, our own information. And it was a pain in the backside, but we got the information in the end. But it's like weird. Yeah, look at this. We had massive, like, it's not a storm, but you could just tell it was really windy, and that one just fell over. Loads of trees have just collapsed, and I've walked past a few cars that have been damaged from a tree falling on top. But yeah, that's why I'm just basically very impressed with Russian healthcare. And it's affected me that bad, this food poisoning, that I'm actually having to go for an upper endoscopy, if I've said that correctly. They need to check all of my intestines, everything, and it's bad. It is bad. But I'll be alright, hopefully. Another removed tree. Yeah, just cutting all the trees up. This sort of treatment and urgency I would never get in England, never. So it's sort of a blessing, yeah, I'd say it's a blessing that I got. I think it's more unlikely for me to get food poisoning in the UK, but the fact that I did get it, if I did get food poisoning in the UK, no chance. I'll just have to suffer. But in Russia, it's like, I'm comfortable now. Like, if I have any issues in Russia, health issues, I'm not worried about doctors or appointments. I'm comfortable knowing their healthcare system's good, it's not overcrowded, blah blah blah. So that's such a positive. Alright, so I'm back home and I just wanted to show you like the differences in Russian healthcare in terms of documents, right? I'm not going to dox all of my information, but I have 2 pieces of paper here from the National Health Service, which is the English health service. I got 2 pieces of paper with just general information about my whole history of health, basically, problems and so on. To get these 2 pieces of paper, it was like an inconvenience for everyone, and it was as if I didn't have the right to get this, this document. So there's 2 pieces of paper there, and with the rest of the document came, a decent amount of documents from one test that I done in regards to my gut, my gut health, and the test came back saying no problems found, completely fine, blah blah blah, which is quite interesting because obviously I'm having these issues now in Russia, and they obviously believe there is something wrong with me, so that's quite interesting. And these are all the documents that I have from 2 appointments, 2 doctor's appointments. I've got 2, I don't know what it says, of course. Kat can help me translate everything. But I've got part of it is probably in an agreement, but the thing that I'm most interested in is that obviously I've got a load of documents explaining what's happened, what they think is wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. But this is what I found so interesting, is that they examined my gut. And I've got pictures of that, explaining things, obviously. But it's such a difference. I don't know why. And what it is clarification. Because in England, it seems like you come in, you go. You don't. There's not a lot of clarification. You don't get any documents or anything. At least my experience. I don't know. It's just, I've got food poisoning, but like I say, I've already said this once before. I feel so much better being here if I have a problem rather than the UK. And maybe things have changed. I haven't been in England for 10 months now, so if there is an English person watching, let me know. Has the healthcare system dramatically changed in the last 10 months, or I don't know. But anyway, that's been my experience with the Russian healthcare system so far, and it's been a good one. I've even been on an IV. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, but it's been bad. I've had quite a bad experience with food here, but the healthcare is there to help, right? And it's been very helpful. So I thank all the Russian doctors, all the Russian specialists. Been very, very helpful. I will be feeling better hopefully by the end of the week, because that was the first time I've been outside for 7 days, because I've been unwell. I've been very unwell. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.